Hello and welcome back to the Friday Games Review. I am Ian Nee Lewis.
And I'm Dan Galpin, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of Halloween games as well as chatting, as we always do, talking about the technology behind games and how we can make more awesome games on Android.
And sad to say, this is the final episode of the Friday Games Review. We have both moved on.
We've both moved on.
Right. At some point you got to ask yourself, how much beer am I going to drink for my job? And the answer is a lot. And now
I think that part will continue though.
Oh, you never know. Yeah. Anyway, so today we're drinking again Rogue Dead Guy Ale.
Exactly.
Because it's Halloweeny. And because this show is dead. Now, we're not going off the air permanently. We're going to be back at some point. I think Dan's going to be headlining a new act, trying to get something together with, maybe Colt McAnlis or those guys. Basically, what's happened is it used to be all about Android with us, and now Dan's sort of taken on a role that is more global, a little bit more cross Google, and I think that as soon as he's ready to talk about that, I think he's going to come back with some cool stuff.
Basically, it means that I get to spend a lot of time with Colt and with Todd Kerpelman and a bunch of other people here, and that's going to be great. And I'm trying to encourage them to wear crazy hats as well. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see more crazy hats in the future. By the way, this hat is not just a crazy hat with hair, which is partially in honor of the amazing picture that was put together by Daniel Pham in response to our faux hawk
that's right. Last
week
we intimated that perhaps Daniel Pham was in New York and London for the semi-annual faux hawk fashion week, and apparently Dan took that the wrong way.
I think he took it the right way.
Not prepared to come out as a faux hawk guy, I guess. Anyway, he was kind enough to put together this. Dan went.
Something like that. So speaking of stronger, so the hat that I'm wearing, if you can't tell, is actually a San Francisco Giants hat. And I know I did not get to go and attend the World Series, but I did stand outside of the ballpark yesterday and watch the end of the game, and it was kind of epic just being there with the cheering fans.
You watched the end of the game outside the ballpark?
On televisions, literally in the plaza in front of the ballpark, and it was great because we had about a 10-second delay. So when anything would happen in the game that was awesome, we'd hear the cheers from them, and then if 10 seconds later, you'd hear the cheers from us, all waiting outside in the less than cheap standing area. But it was awesome and epic, and it was exciting to see the Giants go up 2-0 for all those who are Giants fans out there. And so this hat is actually a SF Giants hat, but it also just kind of fits with the faux hawk theme we had from last week.
The thing about your faux hawk is it really didn't turn into a faux hawk. I mean, mine was, I don't even know what mine was. I think it was that. So epic. It makes me want to put you on the cover of a 70s funk album.
I
think it's Doug Henning. It's like you are the 70s magician, the groovy magician of Android.
Yeah, something like that.
Bringing mullets back.
Yeah, I absolutely. So
can we see that with the motion, Dan?
Yeah, let's. You mean this with the motion?
Yeah, you want to see?
Or do you want to do the motion? Well, I say yeah, absolutely. With the work that Ian has put together to make
what
to
does
make
it look
me
when you
more
have
epic. I don't think I could look at myself that often, but I'll mention it to my girlfriend. She might like it.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
I was talking to everyone out there in internet land.
So we do. Okay. Now last week I challenged you all to nominate Halloween-y games, and of course that didn't happen. So instead I'm going to talk about a bunch of Halloween games.
I think it's because there were like 2 people watching, and one of them was my wife.
Probably. Yeah. You should have nominated some games, Ian's wife. But in all fairness, so we are going to cover some Halloween games. There was one game that's sort of borderline. I also want to mention that Greedy Spiders actually went and got updated based upon the comments we made from last week. So thanks guys for doing that. I've definitely let the Google Play team know, and as soon as they're out under the epic burden they've been under the last week or so, hopefully we'll see something happen with that, because it's a great game.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning too that the amazing burden that these people put themselves under every holiday season. It's really, really difficult to be a Google Play merchandising guy in any holiday season.
Yeah.
So remember to get those updates up, 2-3 weeks beforehand.
Yeah,
if you want to be considered for featuring at a holiday.
Yeah, it's totally brutal. And it kind of works though, because as far as I can tell in this country, Christmas is now beginning in August. That was when I first saw the Christmas merchandise showing up in stores, was in August of this year.
What store had Christmas merchandise in August?
At Costco, actually. It was like, I was totally amazed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
I guess they have to truck it in.
Yeah. So in any case, given that, having something up 2 or 3 weeks before the holiday actually is a really good idea. If you are a game team and you are just trucking to get something done the day or before the holiday, and then you want the team to have a time to look at it, that's probably not going to happen, especially when the team is also trying to prepare for an event that's going to happen on Monday. So, not that we can talk about what that event will be, other than the playground is open. Isn't that what they said about it?
What we said?
I think that's what we said, something like that. So
wow, how exciting!
I know. So I'm looking forward to that event actually happening, so that life can go back to normal, right? Yeah. I hope so. Of course, I'm with this hair. Who knows? So I did look at a bunch of games this week. The first is Gun Zombie Halloween. Now, as if Gun Zombie by itself was not Halloween-y enough, we have the Gun Zombie Halloween edition.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So just to show you.
So I think what we want to do today is rate games on A, how good they are, and B, how shamelessly they chiseled in some sort of Halloween theme.
Yes.
Whether or not it fit, right?
Yeah, and actually most of the ones I picked today really were games that should have had Halloween themes, so I didn't go for the ones that were shameless.
Did you get Clouds and Sheep?
I did not put Clouds and Sheep Halloween edition up there.
Shout out to our buddies
Dudes,
at Candy Game.
Awesome job with that one. So this one here, your job is to shoot things as they walk towards you, thus eliminating them from having to actually have a view of anything from the side, which is kind of epic. And basically you shoot, you reload, and then you have these nice splash effects that happen on the screen. It sort of makes me feel like they used the engine from the original Wolfenstein 3D here in terms of complexity. But hey, it works. It's sort of 3D-ish, and
what's your beef there?
There's no beef. No, I mean that's
good.
The game is minimal beef. That's that. But
all right.
Yeah. But that's the kind of the problem. Also, is it's kind of a lot of the same gameplay. If you like, my biggest complaint with this is that if you're going to do a game in which you're interacting with a touchscreen and you have a whole bunch of things that are running towards you, I hate actually having to move my gun with a virtual joystick. At this point, I just want to go tap 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 tap
what's
tap
up
tap.
With that?
I mean,
what is up with that?
I know.
Right?
So, but I wanted to mention it because it was actually a nicely themed Halloween game. Let's go on to some other stuff. Now, this is Zombiewood, which is the big...
let's take a break and talk about Monday, because that was epic.
Yeah. Oh, this Monday?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So last Monday we went down to San Jose with the Handy Games guys who were in from Germany, right?
Yeah, and they had never really watched much baseball.
No, it turns out that Viking Dude had.
Oh, Viking Dude had.
We don't actually know their names. We just know
That's Chris.
There's Viking Dude, Viking Dude's brother,
Marcus,
and the accountant.
Oh yeah, I don't know him. He's the accountant. So
that's not actually a description. That's his superpower, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
Viking Dude is telling me, like, I sit down, I'm like, well, he probably doesn't really like baseball, so I'm like, hey, show me your game, and he's like, shut up, dude. And I'm like,
I'm watching the game.
Yeah, you're really into this, and he's like, yeah, it's like because apparently the bar he likes to drink at
Oh, yeah.
is a baseball bar.
Well, of
And
course.
So you can't like drink with those people unless you know baseball.
Yeah. Well, I will say
But-
this bar, by the way, but
The bar we were in, this is why I
Firehouse
wanted to
One
bring it up.
down and San Pedro Square, you have the rocking beer collection. I mean,
yeah,
honestly,
we had this. So they were like, oh, we've got this Belgian that's on special. I'm like, oh, I'll try that, fully expecting it to be terrible. It was a really good beer. Think Hoegaarden, but like way less
Better.
commercial. Just
Yeah.
awesome. Second, they brought it to me in a glass that, I kid you not, was shaped like one of those old-timey bicycle horns. You know, with the bulb and the...
hand-shaped glass, clearly, like that.
Right?
Yeah, and a stand,
And a little-
a
wooden
wooden stand,
stand.
because otherwise the glass would fall over. That clearly came from the origin of the beer. So this was beer that was on tap, that was served in a specialized mug the way they would have in Belgium, and I have to say, big thumbs up there. Not to mention all the other beer selections were epic, including the Duchess, which is one of my
Duchess de Bourgogne, yeah, one of our favorite beers, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was epic. Not only that, it was an epic game because the Giants kicked some serious booty.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. Epic, I mean, it was kind of lopsided.
It
honestly.
was, but the end of the game, with the rain pouring down, and they had people on. Oh wait, that was the other game, wasn't it? Never mind. There was a lot of epicness this week.
You remember it was epic. It was like the rain, and then there was that one dude, and then I think Robert Redford hit a homer, and all the lights went out.
No, it actually,
God,
in all
amazing.
seriousness, it was Monday night. The rain was coming down. It was the end of the game, and it was truly epic to end that series.
Thanks for Handy Games for suggesting that place.
Yes.
Because it turned out to be awesome, and it's like within walking distance from my house,
which is a good
thing. Can't say about very many places. They're both awesome and within walking distance.
The Pink Poodles were not walking distance of your house.
I have no opinion about the Pink Poodles.
Anyways, all right. So this is Zombie Wood, by the way, and it's a 2-stick shooter. And as far as I can tell. Gameloft made very, very little effort to actually make it run well on a Tegra 3, which is kind of sad because it's
tough. I mean, like we've talked about before, Tegra 3 is kind of the odd man out on some of these things. It's a fully forward renderer, which means that you've got to sort your geometry. You've got to do all the sort of like PC things, in terms of like.
So in all fairness, what I did before coming in here, I actually put this through PerfHUD. And PerfHUD, for those who don't know, is NVIDIA's truly epic.
Oh, you put it through PerfHUD, but you didn't bring it in here to show everybody. Did you bring it up for the whole class?
Exactly. So just to mention, PerfHUD is NVIDIA's awesome performance tool. It runs only on NVIDIA chips, but you can actually go through and honestly get an amazing amount of information about how your GL screens are rendering. It's an amazing, amazing tool. And I was able to discern immediately that this app was rendering. The first thing it puts up on the screen is the background, which is a bad sign. And it does.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people don't realize this. I am shocked at how many people don't realize this. Mm-hmm. There is one basic lesson that you all must learn if you want your graphics to be fast. And that is, you have a background and or skybox, they get drawn last. Every single GPU ever will do better if you draw your skybox and background last.
Except for one.
You dude, what? Which one?
The Imagination Technology GPUs don't freaking care. They actually draw just as well either way.
Okay, I'm sorry. Everything will do at least as well or better.
Ah, there we are. Yeah.
I can't believe you, man.
Yeah. So basically,
actually, no, they sort. But they also Z-reject.
They sort, but the problem is they sort everything, and so you actually waste as much. It actually, since it resorts it after you send it to it, it actually wastes just as much time. So you waste more CPU sorting your geometry. The thing about this game, though, is it's isometric projection, dudes. So there's very little sorting that has to go on here. Objects are barely ever on top of each other in a meaningful way, which. The objects are always on the background, and none of these objects have transparency.
Hey, you know what?
Translucency. You know why?
It doesn't cost any CPU to draw your skybox last. That's not a sorting operation.
No, that's what I mean. And this isn't even
skybox.
This is the floor. This is like again. Okay.
So
tragic.
That's so there is no cost to this. This is like you would have to be stupid to not do this.
Now are you calling Gameloft stupid? Are you calling Gameloft stupid? Because, we don't do that here on this show.
I meant everybody. Wait.
Okay, we do.
Are you saying like a carve out or something? We call everybody stupid on this show.
That's true, especially us. Well said. So anyways, if you don't mind the game running at about 10 frames a second, it's actually pretty fun on Nexus 7. I'm hoping that we can convince Gameloft to actually do a little bit of geometry sorting at some point. Obviously, this game, it came out just before Halloween. They were probably just rushing to try to get it out the door. Congratulations for simul shipping it on multiple platforms, but now it's time to actually make the Android version run better. It's just right. Too slow. And honestly, I love these kind of games. I love dual stick shooters, man. This is
tough because right now, Tegra has a really large market share for
people who care about games,
devices, tablet devices. So, and I mean, all right. So we made a joke earlier about year of the Android tablet, year of the Linux desktop, whatever. But the truth is that Android tablets have been gaining more and more market share. Now it's true that there's some, the Note for Galaxy Note you could probably call a tablet.
It's a phablet. It's kind of like the faux hawk, okay?
Right. So, but. Yeah,
well done.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Well done, Daniel.
Anyway, the point is, a lot of large devices use the Tegra 3 for whatever reason, and at this point, it's unwise to ignore this chip.
Yeah, and honestly, the tools are so good. I mean, the thing is, no matter what you think of the chip, NVIDIA's tools are so awesome. And at being able to spot these kinds of things.
Also, if you're a game developer with any kind of pedigree, yes.
Awesome! Exactly. There we are. Speaking of awesome,
if you've got any kind of chops, you release some cool stuff on any platform. NVIDIA will often talk to you and give you lots of help. They're really good at that. They have basically an army of people like me and Dan, except they know a lot more about their particular chip.
Yeah.
And they will do amazing things.
You could just say know a lot more. That's... I'm okay with that. Actually, they don't have an army of people that know a lot more. They've got like 2 or 3 guys who know a lot more.
One dude, he's like,
there's the dude from North Carolina. Lars, you're awesome. So,
Dude, I think let's just spend the rest of the show giving shout outs to people.
That's right.
Especially our buddy in Austria. I can't remember your YouTube handle right now, and you're probably not even watching. But peace, brother.
I think his name is Marcus.
Yeah,
you're right. His name's Marcus.
His name is Marcus. Same as the brother of who is actually the CTO of Handy Games.
Viking Dude.
No, the brother of Viking Dude, Marcus, is the CTO. So yeah. See.
Anyway. Let's. Whoa! What happened? Okay, there you
so
go.
By the way, this is to show like what if you ever had any question that Tegra could do some pretty awesome stuff. This water is kind of killer. My congratulations to the team over at Madfinger for actually making this water happen.
Well, there is one thing that's really nice about forward rendering, and that's that you never have to worry about a resolve. Everything's always getting rendered, and if you need to, let's take whatever you've rendered and use it in a different part of the scene. That's considerably faster.
My favorite part is that. Boom.
So actually, we were talking about the Mali 600 series last week, and I seem to remember that they are deferred renderer, but they do not sort geometry before rendering.
That's correct.
So will they also benefit from CPU sorting, do you think?
They absolutely benefit from CPU.
They certainly will benefit from drawing the skybox last. Hello? No,
by the way,
I've been dealing with this ever since I was on the Xbox and Xbox 360. We do performance reviews with people, and it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, and these are like big games. I won't mention which company I visited Edinburgh to check this out on, but for at least a few of their builds, they were like drawing their 9-pass skybox first, and the thing is, GPUs are really, really good at figuring out which pixels are occluded.
Yes.
Most GPUs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that they can completely optimize away. So if you've got a skybox and/or background that is occluded by masses of other geometry, be it skyscrapers or HUD or anything else, it would behoove you to draw that last.
Yeah, absolutely, it would.
Yeah, and in addition, that's another thing. Like, if you draw an opaque HUD, you should totally draw that first, and you should totally make as much of it opaque as possible. Now, alpha blended HUDs look better.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you to make your HUD opaque for no reason.
Well, you can easily make part of the HUD opaque, and that's...
Well, yeah, if you have any part of the HUD that can be opaque, every single pixel in there is another pixel that you don't have to calculate with any shaders.
Yeah. So really, I mean, if you're going to be super smart, take all the opaque areas, make some geometry for them, draw those first, and then take all the non-opaque regions and draw them last.
Awesome.
And
now I just got a message on my Amp mobile phone.
Apparently, someone has been watching Acceptable.tv.
That's right. Get this phone. It's the only phone that makes you happy. It's a Galaxy Nexus.
Yeah, I would say this is not an Amp mobile phone, but that's good shout out there, though.
Right.
So I showed off Dead Trigger mostly because they added the cool pumpkin zombies, and that was their Halloween ad.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And I like the pumpkin zombies. So another game that came out this week in the...
Hang on. I need a refill.
Oh, another beer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're closer, dude.
I am. All right. Aren't you using the mug, man?
I know.
guys.
Well,
You
so
brought
here's
the mug
thing.
all the
here's
way-
the thing.
Okay.
No, give me the mug. Give me the mug. Because you're right. What an asshole thing to do.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. Anyway.
No, you didn't.
So
But
point being that
the show's getting canceled already, sir.
that's true, but I still have my job. I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're out with Handy Games. They brought in these awesome Franconian mugs, and we didn't drink out of them because Dan forgot his, because Dan is incredibly lame.
I'm wearing this hair.
I was gonna awesome hat. I mean, that's pretty epic.
So
But everything Dan does is epic. We've kind of come to expect that. Anyway, so mug advertising game that you probably can't read, which is good because
epic battle, dude.
Because they told us to stop advertising games on our show.
Oh, who did? Wait.
The man. And when I say the man, I mean Billy.
So
you know, it's funny because I asked Billy to come on the show, and I'm like, would you at least just like do a 5-minute spot disavowing all knowledge of the show? And he said no.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
So so this game actually came.
Ooh, it's our favorite company.
So this is Zombie Swipeout, and which like many.
Oh man, have they trademarked that? Because I could see an entire Swipeout dynasty.
It's possible. And this game comes from their team in Germany, which actually does not do freemium social games, believe it or not. This is a game that is actually, well, like a lot of other games.
Whoa!
So your goal
That's
here...
a lot of what is that?
I'm trying to kill zombies that are jumping up in the air.
Yeah, but what's the fruit?
Oh, those are coins.
Oh, those are coins. They look like oranges to me.
Yeah, no, those are coins. Yeah, no, they do look a lot like oranges. The goal is to avoid killing your friends. Your friend in this case, who looks like he should be killed because he looks really unhappy.
Wait.
But he's being chucked up in the air among a whole bunch of zombies, and to catch the coins.
Yeah. Where's your friend?
Hold on, he'll be there. I'll swipe him eventually. There he is. See the guy?
Oh, dude, that guy is such a tool. You know.
I know exactly. So you got
Look at that thing he's wearing too.
Yeah. No.
It's like a Marty McFly Back to the Future vest.
Yeah. Whoa, and there's multiples of him because he's got clones. Anyways, this is a bizarre game, by the way, but it's actually really fun and well done. And so congratulations to the team for that. And it actually, being that it has actual zombies and the zombies are actually part of the regular game, it's a pretty good one to release around Halloween.
Absolutely.
So there we are.
Oh, good stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
What does this add to, let's say, some sort of Asian martial arts style game involving fruit?
Well, that's, it's a slightly different game design, but yes.
Well, yeah, and it's okay. I mean, there's lots of first-person shooters. I'm sure there's lots of ninja swiping games, but why would I get this?
Well, my feeling was if you're going to go all the way and have zombies coming at you, what is the whole point of zombies is that they're supposed to be coming at you.
Yeah, they're supposed to be coming at you at a slow, terrible pace.
Or even at a fast
pace. You can outrun them, but they can't be stopped.
No.
They don't sleep. They don't need to eat except for brains. Basically, when you're in the zombie apocalypse, that's the terrifying thing, right?
Exactly. And I mean,
bunny.
These are cute zombies.
Right.
That's the whole point. So I don't know why we were killing them in the air. Their first game, this was Zombie Smash, which was a
that was
physics
another
game.
flying zombie game.
So
Basically,
this is the sequel.
these guys love zombies in the air.
They
I
love
want to understand where that comes from. Is this some sort of bizarre German myth that I just am not familiar with?
Well,
Like when you find out
is
that
it a
Hansel
German
and
director
Gretel
who made all
really
those?
died?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point. So, anyways,
German director made all those what?
Resident Evil films wasn't or
Was it a German director?
I don't remember. All right.
Wasn't that dude that hauled the steamboat up the mountain? Was it?
All
right, anyway.
So that's Wipeout. We really liked it. Actually, I really liked it. But yes, it is a lot like another game in which one is battling fruit. So whether it makes more sense to battle fruit or battle zombies that are flying through the air,
Who tossed them too? That's my question.
I want to know
tosses.
Who is
I can
tossing the
understand
zombies?
Because it's like obviously it's your sensei and or Asian assistant tossing stuff in the air so you can prove your ninja skills,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
I don't know.
I have to admit that the whole premise behind this game does completely escape
I
me.
remember it used to be when you got a game, you got like a box with it,
Yeah.
and there was like a manual, and you read the manual, and it would explain this whole story of why this pixel hated this other. Pixel.
I feel like when one should say that. I remember when games used to come with a manual and a box.
Yeah, right? You know what?
Yes.
Loading screens, uphill both ways.
So speaking of loading screens, I wanted to show off Nun Attack, which also has a nice Halloween theme, believe it or not. And Nun Attack...
This is nothing compared to Kung Fu CB Mamas on Wheels versus the Motorcycle Aztec Wrestling Nuns.
What? All right, hold on. I just want to restart this from the beginning with Nun.
You know what I don't understand is Nun Attack.
So look, verifying resources. Why is it verifying resources? Because I put it into the code sample. Gah! You don't have to verify resources every single time you run the game.
Did you put it in the code sample?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know whose fault this is?
Mine.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're waiting all this time,
So if
my
you've
fault.
ever been in a profession where you write sample code of any kind, one thing that you will note is that sample code gets cut and pasted all the time. It's so funny because I literally.
I'm glad that they did change the UI
Microsoft,
though.
we're in a position where we often looked at other people's code. I would find samples that I had written, and there were comments saying, "This is sample code. Do not cut and paste this code." Cut and pasted into their code.
Yes.
I mean, that is how lazy some developers are.
No. Yeah. So basically, the answer is, first of all, are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say lazy? I meant awesome.
Awesome! Wait, put up the awesome. Come on, we need the awesome. So, then
oh yeah.
All right. So,
we do kind of need like a psychedelic Dan with like the word awesome.
So Freema actually made one of my favorite Android games, which was a space shooter for free. And the game was cool, but the best part about it was the epically silly story that they put together for it.
That was cool. By the way, I just want to interrupt and do you realize that it took me like 45 minutes to find those damn Mandelbrot coordinates?
Nice.
Anyway,
nice.
Go ahead.
So we appreciate the time that and effort you put into this show.
It's a complete waste of time, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
So but you learn something. So this game is a game in which you control a squad of nuns, and
already I'm sold.
And so the only thing about this game is that I find that most of the time
That's cool. I like that art style.
The art style is awesome. Most of the time,
and this is actually I have to admit, this is another thing that we're starting to notice is that even that pause button, that's cool.
Yes.
Just a lot of little, and this is one thing that's nice about, we were in a meeting earlier, not today, but a couple days ago, and we were talking about like what's different between doing apps and doing games, and a big piece of it is games are so awesome.
Yes.
On Android, you always get a completely different set of ideas and design things.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like going
so
to
cool.
it's like a designer's paradise. Design whatever you want as long as
and
it's
that,
awesome.
This is sort of this.
So and my hat is off, by the way, to Freema's designers on this one. They did a beautiful job with the art style.
Yeah, it's so pretty. What do you call it? It's like, I don't know, like Powerpuff Girls meets the Addams Family. It's like this bizarre emo cartoon art. It's great.
Yeah, these are seriously emo nuns that are in this. So
wait, that's a nun?
That's a nun. Yeah, look at that. See the hot nun with the habit?
Man,
I know.
It's like they just invaded my nightmares.
Yeah. So so this is the burly ass boss nun here who takes things out with her shotgun.
So she's a tank nun?
She's a tank nun.
Nice.
You see, there's different kinds of characters.
Well, what's Knife Nun doing here?
Knife Nun is
kind of standing back there, being eye candy. What's going on there?
So she actually.
I think that's actually a little bit offensive to both nuns and women as a whole.
What?
Just a hot nun.
Why? What's wrong with nuns being hot?
Actually, what I'm wondering is, how'd she get the eye patch?
Well,
there she is. In the act of devoting her life to worship and quiet contemplation, how did she lose an eye?
That's one of the great mysteries of this game, actually.
I get the feeling that the nuns in this game aren't real nuns.
It's very possible. They also like to hang around in bikinis, apparently. They're a new kind of kick butt nun. Actually, nuns are pretty kick butt, by the way, in general. Just by my experience, is that those are some serious
really?
badass.
Did you meet a lot of nuns in Hebrew school?
I actually did not go to Hebrew school, but no, it was
kind of a half Jew, are you?
Exactly. But I will say that. Oh, here we are. So the problem with this game for me, by the way, is that the game is actually well thought out, but the controls for the game are actually mostly what I'm fighting. And the game tries to make things easy for me. I say I want to attack that guy, and it continuously attacks. But I feel there's like less visceral pleasure in this, and it's still annoying because sometimes you're dragging to say I want to attack this guy, and you miss, and the nun just walks over.
Yeah, that's rough.
And so or that guy just doesn't get attacked because he just happens to be standing there.
No, I think we did into 2, 3, 4. How do you solve a problem like a skeleton?
Okay. So there's also special abilities, like I can make my nun invisible there. So I can click on her. I can say I want to go boom on this guy, take out this gate.
Gate, is that what we're calling it?
It is the gate. It is I believe
right.
some sort of hell gate or something like that. Yeah.
That resembles nothing so much as a gate.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the basic game. The main issue with this game that I had was that I kind of found myself fighting the controls. On the other hand,
by the way, I think we should pause and mention that our heads are blocking a massive amount of gameplay.
That's true.
Also, don't care. It's our last show. Deal with it.
So, rock on. So Ian before the show said, Dan, take this scene and sprinkle it liberally throughout the show wherever it's appropriate. We're going to call this the Dan Awesome scene. And so so Dan
Famster has done an amazing job.
As awesome. So the main issues with gun and nun attack that I saw is I kind of wanted to feel a little bit more feedback
religious?
When I actually targeted someone. Like I wanted to make it clear this nun was targeting that character, and I don't see that. And so there's lots of times where the nun does something I don't expect.
You drag, and it wasn't like obvious when you could finish your drag.
Exactly. And
why? I mean, it seems like it would be so obvious to just like brighten that character up or something.
Yeah, and that's what I think needs to happen. And I also, once a character is attacking someone, I want to make it really obvious. Like I want a little picture of the guy, or a little direction, a little line saying this one is attacking that one. So there's a couple things I think need to be done to make the game better.
You know what I think is a terrible idea?
What?
A picture of a guy idea.
Yeah.
I like the line better.
Okay. And then Nun Attack also needs to get rid of verifying the download every time you launch, because that just sucks, and it's my fault.
What is your dude doing? I mean, I thought you were just. Are you actually like doing a CRC check on her? Or something?
Yeah. I wrote a little CRC checker, so it unzips
that
the entire file.
That was literally just to pad your resume, wasn't it? It was like, Yeah, 2012, wrote a CRC check.
Yeah, that was pretty much. Well, it was actually because when I was developing it, I was making a download resume function, and when I made the download resume function, it did. I wanted to make sure that the downloads were actually getting done correctly. So of course, the first thing I did was wrote a verifier that would verify the CRCs.
I love it. Dan wrote all of this over the course of 3 months. Now, that doesn't sound like much, except when you consider that we'd promised to have it done in 3 weeks, and not having it done delayed the entire feature.
You know, you're making me look bad here.
You know what makes you look great, though?
This hat.
And if you don't go mullet on us, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Cancel the show. So, so let's...
No, I'm telling you, it's either mullet or alternate possibility.
Yeah.
Shaved. Dude,
right, shaved.
That would be awesome, especially with that beard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking Kane from Command and Conquer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would work. All right, so Demon.
Face it, everything Dan does is epic.
So this game was actually one of the ones that was nominated. Just in case you thought I was going to
awesome.
ignore.
Who nominated it?
I don't know.
Right.
So
let's call him Nominator Guy.
Guy.
Let's see how you did.
The developer of the game. So this is a game which looks like another game that we actually saw. Your goal is to get.
Oh man, is this a tilt game?
It's a tilt game where the goal is to get the. In fact, it's just like a game that used to, I think, have sheep in it, but now it has ghosts in it.
You are kidding me.
It is the same game.
You are kidding me.
Nope. But
okay, you know what, Nominator Guy? I begin to suspect that you have an ulterior motive of some kind.
Well, I actually like the burning ghosts rather than the sheep, honestly.
I would have gone with burning goats, but okay.
Goats.
You've got the.
Oh, now I've got to avoid the fire.
Yeah,
no, the fire! I bounce off of the fire.
I can't see a thing here. It's just it's all fire and
Yeah. So
that sort of spotlight thing.
So so cool.
But you know what? Okay. Can I
Box
just say
2D
this
game.
now?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You think it's Box 2D? You think it's that complex?
It is Box 2D because it's using End Engine, so I'm pretty sure it's Box 2D.
Fair enough. No, but what I was gonna go ahead. I don't care.
So first of all, this guy actually, what I will say, learned a lot from professional game developers, because professional game developers do exactly this thing. They take a game that's based on sheep, and they skin it for Halloween, and then they're like, "Look at my game, everyone! I've got a Halloween game." And not that we know any developer who would ever do something like that.
Right. So when we say professional,
yes,
that's not necessarily a mark of quality. It just means they make money from what they do.
Well, honestly, if you can skin a game successfully, and actually I think this works better than the original sheep game, because I never quite understood why I was tilting
that's a
the
good
sheep.
point. That's a really good point. Yeah, the storyline is better.
It actually...
Hang on.
Yeah.
I just got a message on my mobile phone. Let's see.
Hello.
It's Google Ween.
The Friday Games Review has now become an ad for acceptable.tv. If you haven't seen it, tune in. All right, so anyways, great job in skinning your game. But
you know what? What a horrible job of skinning your interactions.
Yeah.
How many dialogues have we seen now that have not been cool?
I know, and it's sad.
And I know it's our system dialogue, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Let's just come out of the closet. Our system dialogues, not cool.
Yeah, don't use them. Actually, as a general rule, we tell developers, even in apps, not to use our system dialogues for almost anything, because the reality is you almost never want to stop the user's progress in the middle of something unless it's sort of like, this action will destroy all of your data. Would you really, really want to do this? Most of the time, if you're in the middle of any kind of progression, what you want to see is a separate screen. You want to see a true interstitial screen rather than a dialogue, even within apps. Or you want to see it be a part of the existing screen. In a game like this, what I want to see is take a look at what happened with a game like Angry Birds, where you actually see, yes, a dialogue, but it's really an interstitial screen. It feels very, very much part of the game, and you get to see a whole bunch of stats about how you did. And really, that would be really nice. I actually want to know how many times did the ghost bounce off the wall. I want to know, I don't know, anything about the game that might be interesting. But
actually, that's true. I always love stats. I'm definitely, as I've been playing a game, I don't know if you've heard of it, a little bit of a new game for me, Radiant Defense.
You're playing Radiant Defense?
Yeah.
Holy moly!
And I think to myself, wow, it'd be really cool if I could get the stats on this tower.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, know like how much it's killed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that's a great idea. So that was Demon Ball, by the way, which was actually nominated. I wanted again props out to Greedy Spiders for making those changes. I'm not going to go through the game because we're running low on time.
We are.
Relatively, yeah. So there's a non-Halloween game I just wanted to call attention to because it comes from Clapfoot, and I absolutely really love this game.
Wait. Who's Clapfoot again?
Clapfoot made Tank Hero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those guys. Right. So this is their take.
That's cool. That's good looking.
This is their take on a shooting game, and this is pretty cool for a freemium shooting game. Actually, they mostly nailed it.
So I totally like that beginning scene, but so now what are we? So we're basically looking at a generic side scroller.
Yes, it's a generic side scroller. But
I like the idea that they've got like a loadout screen and stuff. I mean, can you actually? Is there any kind of RPG element to it?
Yeah. So you basically you slowly build up your ship, or you can buy things to make your ship more awesome.
Nice.
And as you go through the levels, there actually are 4 different backgrounds in the game, and you see them a lot with lots of different enemies that slowly start coming. Each level.
That's the tough thing about side scrollers. You really need a lot of art.
You need a lot of art, and so this game does not have a lot of art, but it's actually really fun on top of that. This is an hour.
I have to mention, because this just made me think of it. So did you end up playing the Zaxxon?
I did not.
Did they end up calling it Zaxxon Escape?
It is, yeah, okay. And it looks awesome.
I got to give a shout out to these guys because they did some interesting things. Now, of course, I'm sorry. Name of the studio because it's totally blanking on it.
Oh,
same guys that did the Snowboard X, right?
Yeah, what was
Free
it?
Range. Yeah.
Free Range. It was Free Range. Okay.
Yeah. So Free Range and our buddy Wayne Caro. Your last name sounds like corn syrup. Yeah. But anyway, so what they did was
sweet guy.
Yeah, no, awesome guy, totally awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the whole Free Range team. They've been in games for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tony Hawk. I mean, really cool stuff. The snowboard game was great. But anyway, so they put out this thing, and obviously it's interesting because there's a lot of games that you could say are inspired by other games when what you really mean is total ripoff of this other game. Zaxxon Escape is inspired by Temple Run in the most classic way, in that
it's true inspiration. The game is heavily different.
Yeah, and it adds a third dimension. It's like Temple Run meets Descent.
Mm-hmm.
So really cool stuff. And they originally showed it to us. I think it was a different name, and then they hooked up with Sega and they got the Zaxxon name on it, which is absolutely
It was
cool.
designed as Zaxxon.
It was absolutely. But yeah, which I love. I'm glad that they brought that name back.
Yeah. Zaxxon. So
cool
Zaxxon, I can tell you when I many years ago I actually owned a Zaxxon stand-up. And
wow.
I know.
You're like that kid in like that one Richard Pryor movie, right? You have everything.
No, but
okay.
I did have a Zaxxon stand-up back when they came down in price. You can get them for about $300, and
he means 3,000.
Thank you.
You know why?
Thank you, translator man.
Wealthy.
Yeah, right.
Come on. Houses, exactly, and a Prius.
Hey, all I can say is that you drive the BMW.
You get a Prius anyway?
All I can
BMWs, you can in San Jose, Silicon Valley. Dude, you find those like on the side of the road, man.
Well, I certainly once their leases run out. But yeah, no, this is a lot of fun. You can waste a lot of time with this game, and honestly, they did a really, really great job with it. So good use of Android, and I've been really happy with it. So
cool.
I wanted to give a shout out since we're on the show.
I have to ask though, is that really full resolution?
That is, as far as I can tell, full resolution.
Okay.
It's just that the artwork in the back, the textures are a little blurry.
It's just the beer.
No, the textures are blurry. You can see if you look at the sharp lines around the geometry, you can see that that's actually full resolution.
I saw that. So it was really just the backgrounds.
Yeah, it gives.
So I guess we're saying that's a depth of field effect.
No, it's just low resolution textures.
This screen though is really cool.
It does.
I like this screen.
Yeah. That screen is awesome. It makes you think the game is going to be perhaps a little more epic than it actually is. I really love the game. I thought they did a beautiful job on it.
I'm sort of ready to do my loadout into my giant robot when I see a screen like that.
Yeah, you're like, well, exactly.
That's one thing we don't have enough of is giant robot games. They're very difficult to do on a touchscreen.
Yeah, no, it's
if you're doing a giant robot game though, let me know because.
Absolutely. So
I don't know why you'd let me know, but what the hell?
So and speaking about letting us know, so I'm not planning to take the moderator down for this, because you never know when we'll actually do another games review. We're not going to be doing them weekly, that's for sure. And if we do them, we're going to try to.
You know what? We're going to do them guerrilla style. One day you'll be sitting in your cafe in wherever you live, be it Singapore, be it Bangladesh, be it London, the fashionable side. Any of these places, Dan might just descend on you and do a game review.
That is a cue, Mr. Fan.
If you live anywhere in the continental United States, apart from
was there anything on the live stream, by the way?
Probably not.
Let's take a look. Is there anything on the live stream?
Yes. So let's take questions from the audience.
Is there an audience?
I love how Dan's like, oh man, we got to get through these games. No, we don't.
We got through all of them.
What we really got to do is take questions from the audience.
All right, so questions from the audience.
People are actually confused whether or not this is a Halloween-themed show or not, and it's probably because I didn't bother to edit the description or any of the titles. So, sorry guys.
Wait, yeah, it totally is Halloween. What's the matter?
Yeah.
What, you didn't edit what?
I didn't edit any of the descriptions saying that, this is going to be a Halloween-themed show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Friday Games Review in a
long time, yeah.
True.
We did announce it on the last show, but that doesn't mean anyone found out.
And also,
sorry
I
about
seem
that.
to remember that Dan spent most of last week under the influence of some pretty amazing London substances. So
that may or may not be true. I cannot confirm or deny that.
Right. Where'd you guys stay in London, by the way?
I stayed in the Grosvenor.
Oh, nice hotel. Very nice hotel.
Yeah, I guess.
So
anyway.
I miss the London office and the truly amazing coffee lab that they have up there.
Yeah, we stayed in Belgravia House?
Belgrave House, which is awesome.
When I worked for Xbox, we used to stay at St. Martin's Lane, which is the most epic hotel ever.
Yeah.
We had some deal there.
I was gonna say our T&E is a little bit is not as epic as what you guys had with the Xbox. So.
What happens?
Yep. Anything else from the live stream that's interesting?
Some people didn't catch the first few minutes of the show and catch on to the fact that this is going to be the last episode for a while. So for those of you tuning in right now, this is going to be the last show.
This is the final episode of the Friday Games Review.
Yeah. Whatever happens with games, we're still going to do. We still care about games.
No, we've had a great run. I mean, over a year now, we've been basically kicking back about 2:00 in the afternoon, helping ourselves to some beer that Google bought, and just ripping into some games. After which, what we used to do was leave this studio and go directly into another meeting where we just ripped on games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, people grow, things become more corporate. We add people to the organization, and all of a sudden it's like, dude, getting drunk on a Friday, is that really cool? And I'm like, yeah, well, okay, why don't you do that on your own time? I'm like, okay, fine.
And actually I find that the more beer I drink, the more I grow.
In some dimensions,
absolutely. Yes. So we're going to be doing more with games, and I think that for us, there's a lot of exciting stuff. We want to get together with our buddies over at Chrome and on the web side of things. I'm really excited. You heard me sort of alluding to this last week, but I'm really excited about the new Chromebook. I think it has the potential to be a game monster, and I want to see what people do with it. So
absolutely.
So I'm sort of going to be looking at that side of things as well. But what I was going to say is, keep throwing stuff in the moderator. You never know when we're going to come back and do a new games review. It's just that we're not doing it every week, and if we do it again, we're going to try to make it interesting and make it part of a technically themed show. So it's going to be us sitting here with a bunch of guys from NVIDIA going through PerfHUD, or us sitting here with some guys from our graphics team talking about, how best to utilize Feature X, and really try to get into a little bit more of the technical discussion.
That's really what it came down to, right? Dan and I are engineers. We've been writing computer software for years and years, and we put this together first to start by just showcasing some games that we liked. But it turned out that a lot of the things that we were saying about games were just universally true over and over again. We kind of got bored with it, and so we decided it'd be a lot more fun to do some technical stuff. And the last couple of weeks, you've probably seen us geek out about GPUs and things like that, because Dan knows one thing about GPUs, that they're either tiled or not, and he has incredibly in-depth knowledge about that one fact. It's awesome. He's so cute. But other than that,
no, it's true. And actually, when I was trying to look at the zombie wood shaders to see if I could figure out anything they were doing wrong, and to be honest, I couldn't. So I looked at him like, no, that GL clear even looks okay. So
anyway, the point being that I think this one's run its course, but we're going to be coming back with something bigger and better later.
Yeah, exactly. And that does involve us drinking more beer between now and then.
I think there will probably be beer involved, because when is there not beer involved with games?
That is true. And beer is actually part of Google Culture on Fridays. We do have TGIF here, and that much is probably not secret.
We want to give a shout out to all the people that have followed us for a while now. Marcus, the Austrian dude, and the other guys that hate on us in all the comments.
Yeah,
and stuff
he actually jumped in the comments and said hi. So
hey, Marcus, awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that we never managed to get that Austrian beer. I couldn't find a place in San Jose that sourced it.
I blame America for that one, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, we love you guys. We're really happy that y'all tuned in. We've always had a really good audience for this show. It's actually been one of the best shows that we've done on Android Developers Live. But it's just time to move on and actually. Okay, let me be perfectly honest. The thing is that
what
when Dan Pham
when are you not
his
honest
report for London. Andy Rubin actually looked at it, and then Billy's like, "Hey, yeah, right. We're sending Dan to London for this great Android video thing," and Andy's like, "Oh, maybe I should watch that." And then Billy's like, "You know what? We should shut down the games review."
I think that pretty much sums it up right there.
Anyway, raise a glass to you guys. Cheers. Had a super great time. Dan, let us know if is there anything else that we should be asking or answering on the feed before we sign the hell off.
There's absolutely nothing worth mentioning.
You hear that, YouTube commenters? Quit acting like YouTube commenters.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, this is goodbye, but we'll certainly be around.
Yeah.
And
watch our Google Plus feed. Of course, we will continue to be doing the App Clinic with Ray Tomeyer and myself on Fridays, Android Design in Action on Tuesdays, something on Wednesdays that I have no idea what it will be, and Dan will be back at some point doing something with games, and it will be awesome.
Exactly.
And probably his hat, too. One of his hats.
Probably one of my hats as well. And perhaps I might even come and make a guest appearance.
Actually, that's probably what you should have mentioned, is the whole thing has run its course because you have run out of hats.
There is an endless supply of new hats that can be acquired. But it's true. I did actually have to go out and run out and get this one last night.
All right. Well, you can always reach us through our Google Plus stream, which you can get to at developer.android.com/plus. And we look forward to hearing from you. Give a shout out to plus Ian D. Lewis, plus Dan Galpin if you want to talk to us directly. Otherwise, just leave some random comments and somebody will read them and respond. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, we actually have real humans that look at this.
We've reached the end. I was going to buy some truly epic beer today, but then I ran out of time, money, and inclination. But Dead Guy Ale seems like the right way to sign off.
But you did make the amazing Mandelbrot background, so you're completely forgiven.
There you go. So, all right. And Dan Galpin. The very first episode, you were like, oh no, man, I'm going to say my own name. I was like, I'm Ian D. Lewis. With me as always is Dan Galpin. You're like, oh no, I'm going to say Dan Galpin. The very last freaking minute of the show, you can't step up.
As always, I'm Dan Galpin.
I'm Ian D. Lewis.
And that's the way it was. Cheers.
Android Games.
Cheers.